Malcolm Garvey Huey. Study Malcolm Garvey Huey. Their life was like a movie. Study Malcolm Garvey Huey. Malcolm Garvey Huey. Malcolm Garvey Huey. Their life was like a movie. I die, I organize. Everything I do's revolutionize. I build what's good for the whole damn hood. Study G's like these, really think you should. I study Malcolm Garvey Huey. Malcolm Garvey Huey. Marshall Cody with the Uzi. Listening to Fela Kuti. I'm Ogun with the machete. Especially if it's Delhi. Got the Santos for the Hexy to protect me, so respect me. This is heavy, legendary, revolutionary. My wifey, she resurrect me when they thought they had me buried. Took me out the cemetery. Now it's family over every, cause it's all that's necessary to avoid the commissary. I'ma live for you five, so I stop getting high. If you know, then you recognize it's that black and brown pride. This the power of the mind. RBG, God divine. You can see through the lies if you could read between the lines.
I live, I die, I organize. Everything I do revolutionize. I build what's good for the whole damn hood. Study G's like these, really think you should.
Study Malcolm Garvey Huey. Malcolm Garvey Huey. Study Malcolm Garvey Huey. Malcolm Garvey Huey.
Malcolm Garvey Huey, Bunchy Bobby, packing Tukey. Sitting by the door so you can say I'm acting spooky. Just like in the movie, son, you better pack your toolie. Niggas switch be acting fruity, you'll be cracking like they pookie. Rather smoke a doobie than be burning and eluding. Bang, bang, pig shooting, we should blame Rudy Julie. Yanny for the camera, shine a white and nose candy. Let you banging on the system, you a gangster wearing panties. RBG, my family from the Bronx to Miami. Police cannot stand me, Pacquiao like a Manny. Call me Little Bobby Hutton, cause I'm first to push the button. Rappers don't be saying nothing to the system, we say fuck them. This is for Nahana, Mama C, Mama Akua. All the real OGs, I'm a soldier cause you told me study Malcolm Garvey Huey. Malcolm Garvey Huey. Malcolm Garvey Huey, I'm reporting in the duty.
Sticky, icky, yours truly, here for duty. Don Davino, M.A. Uno, you know how we drop the jury. This is real, not a movie, not Mickey, Donald, Goofy. I'm a soldier, I avoid a bitch nigga like the cooties.
Screw face in a hoodie.
Fresh pair of khakis, we could do this like we fama. Go to war like the Apaches, for whatever, I stay ready. I learned that in Tallahassee. Babatunde used to school me as a juvie, skipping classes. Never let the system use me. My duty is my passage. Watch the homies in your army, they don't always show their badges. Keep your family living healthy. Teach your children about their blackness. Teach your wifey how to use the ratchet. This shit is classic. Get your food, clothes, and shelter. Fuck your system, pimp it backwards. I ain't hating, I'm just saying if you wanna be a rapper, study
Malcolm Garvey Huey. Malcolm Garvey Huey. Study Malcolm Garvey Huey. Malcolm Garvey Huey. Study Malcolm Garvey Huey. Malcolm Garvey Huey. Study Malcolm Garvey Huey. Malcolm Garvey Huey.
A tactical approach is designed to get certain.
Your father had on our culture.
When I went to college and people started chasing me around campus and saying, "Are you Malcolm X's daughter?" and I didn't know, I was really petrified because I had not experienced that before, because my mother, as I said, she was extremely overprotective. And so that was when I realized.
Did your mother answer, if not many, if not all your questions about your father and the history of him?
Well, my mother didn't talk. She never talked about when he was gunned down, but she just always said the greatest things that you can imagine about her husband, and she blushed when she spoke of him.
Interesting. Why is that, you think?
Because he was amazing. I mean, when I asked her why didn't she remarry, she said, "Who would I have married?"
Wow.
Right. So she continued to love him. I mean, she's buried on top of him.
Yeah, speaking of
Mrs. Malcolm X, first I want to thank you for talking with us under these trying circumstances, and your husband did not die in vain in this cause and struggle. During the course of his lifetime and his career, did he ever discuss with you the aims of this new organization he founded last year, the Organization for Afro-American Unity?
Well, yes. In particular, one of the aims was internationalizing the problem of the Afro-American in this country. He felt that as long as in a few states we were begging for cups of coffee or things of this sort, that we would not receive rights all over. Just as the white man is able to go all over the face of the earth and receive the same dignity and respect in one country as he does in the other, the Afro-American or the African, wherever he goes, receive indignation and disrespect. And he felt by internationalizing the problem, by helping the Africans, and in turn the African helping us to get our rights, that a black man, an Afro-American or an African, could go all over the face of the earth and receive the same dignity, the same respect as any white man. And I think that this was one of the aims, and it was a very good aim.
Peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of Do Knowledge Radio. Placement announcements for the host, Knowledge Born Alive. We're here to pay homage and ode on her birthday today. One of the greatest black women that warms my heart, that warms my spirit, that warms my consciousness. One after my mother, the aunts in my family, and my grandmother, who has had a profound impact outside of my maternal and paternal lineage over the years. On her birthday today, Dr. Betty Shabazz, peace and blessings be upon her, her righteous family. Normally, I would do a Malcolm X tribute separate. As we know, his birthday was May 19th. But I decided to wait. I decided to wait to do this tribute together. I decided to wait to do this tribute together, and I think for all of the years to come that I will continue to do the tribute together. As they are together now, as we should look at their life and their legacy as a shining, righteous model, not one that is free from spot or blemish, but one that is impactful, one that is empowering, one that is motivational, and one that is complementary to the mind, the heart, and the spirit space that is necessary for a redeeming people. For people that can be redeemed through our love and our insight and our willingness to come together and love one another. This beautiful relationship that was alluded to by one of their daughters, Ilyasa, in the short clip, alluded to the undying love and unwavering commitment of this divine woman, Dr. Betty Shabazz, and her devotion before God to her husband. Now, Hajj Miguel Shabazz, Brother Wali, affectionately known to the world as Minister Malcolm X. We want to honor her. We want to honor Black mother. We want to honor Black wife. We want to honor the divine God force that exists within her devotion, in her grace, in her mercy, in her patience, in her commitment. As we honor her as an archetype of the phenomenal essence that is Black woman, that is Black mother, that is that divine Black God being that is her. Her in her loving nature, her healing nature, her restorative nature begin in her birth story. As it is reported, she was born May 28, either 1934 or 1936, and the reason is there is no birth certificate. She, as did Malcolm X, had to deal with the state. In the early period of their lives, they both had to deal with the state. Malcolm's father was assassinated, Earl Little, and Louise Little was taken as a ward of the state. And as a result, Malcolm and his siblings were separated as wards of the state. Dr. Betty Shabazz was born to parents and as a result of being born in that environment, she suffered abuse. Now, I want us to pay attention to this. She was born to a mother, Oldie Mae Sanders, who was a teenager at the time, to a man who was 21 years old. I want you to go to the deepest recesses of your mind and understand the condition by which Dr. Betty Shabazz was born. This is the environment she was born into. Her mother was with a 21-year-old man. And she was a teenager. This was a common practice and is a common practice in the space. Now look at the environment she's born into. An environment of regret. An environment of regret so deep that she was met with abuse for the formative years of her life by her mother, with the relationship between her mother and father. She grew up in this environment. And she advocated for young teenage mothers for the rest of her life because she was born in this environment. She didn't take being born in this environment as something that precluded her from reaching her goals, dreams, and aspirations. In fact, she used it as motivation to find a way to seek to eradicate it with all of her being. She sought to eradicate this kind of environment, this sort of abuse, this cycle of violence, this cycle of regret, this cycle of regression that had happened in the conditions surrounding her birth, and did not want this cycle to continue. So she advocated for young Black women, teenage mothers, to seek to eradicate the conditions that were surrounding her birth. The conditions that continue to follow her through her early formative years. So at about 11 years old, she was taken to the home of Lorenzo and Helen Malloy, prominent businessmen, a prominent business family, affluent. And in this environment, it was the complete opposite of the environment that she had grew up in. So she was able to go in an environment where she was saw as a curse. She was born in an environment where she was saw as a curse, to growing up in an environment where she was saw as a blessing, an angel, a gift from God, is what Helen Malloy described Dr. Betty Shabazz to be for her. She was unable to have children of her own. So Dr. Betty Shabazz, coming into her life, empowered her to be elevated to the status of mother. And Helen Malloy mothered Dr. Betty Shabazz, while simultaneously Malcolm was receiving the sting of the lash. He went from a loving environment with his father and his mother and his siblings to the systematic removal and heaping into the hells of North America through its foster care system. And in that environment, the loving, caring atmosphere and nurture and protective spaces were removed and replaced with the fostering ideas of deviance and devastation. The deviance of that institution, that juvenile prison system, unrefined. And there he went from the young, intelligent Malcolm to devolving in that environment, to where his brain was washed, and he received an education like no other on the horrors that one would suffer in the hands and spaces of this oppressive environment. So they were having a similar experience in environments and a shift in environment. Malcolm coming from a loving family environment, Dr. Betty Shabazz coming from an abusive environment, to the roles switching. Dr. Betty Shabazz going into a loving environment and Malcolm going into an environment of grave dissent, mental, emotional, physical devolution. Dr. Betty Shabazz got to flourish in this environment and was taught about self-reliance. But she was not taught, from her vantage point, her own words, in that environment, she was not taught about racism. Malcolm didn't have to be taught about racism. His father was killed. His mother was institutionalized. And him and his siblings, saw the sting of the lash up close. They lived in that environment. Dr. Betty Shabazz wrote, race relations were not discussed, and it was hoped that by denying the existence of race problems, the problems would go away. Anyone who openly discussed race relations was quickly viewed as a troublemaker. So when we look to Malcolm, what did he discuss? Race relations in America? What was he deemed? A troublemaker. So I'm going to stop right here for a second and I'm going to play this clip and allow these divine ancestors to speak for themselves. I'll be right back.
Malcolm X was assassinated. In his eulogy to Malcolm X, Ozzie Davis said, "Many will ask what Harlem finds to honor in this bold young captain, and we will smile. Malcolm was our manhood, our living black manhood. This was his meaning to his people, and in honoring him, we honor the best in ourselves." His widow, Mrs. Betty Shabazz, tells of his childhood.
Well, his early life, his family was disrupted. His father was killed when he was 6, and his mother later went to a mental institution. So from the time he was about 6 years old on, he reared himself. He was in foster homes and boys' homes until he was about 15. And then he went for a year and a half and lived with a half-sister in Boston. And he was in prison, and it was kind of rugged, really.
After his release from prison, Malcolm X became a minister for the Nation of Islam. In his autobiography, Malcolm X said, "No sane black man really wants integration. No sane white man really wants integration. The only solution is complete separation from the white man."
And one of the facts in your estimation is that Negro and white can never live together in America, can never
Well, evidently,
coexist.
the white man feels that the Negro can never live with him because it's the white man who is stopping integration. I'm not the one who is stopping Negroes from integrating with whites. I'm not the one who keeps Negroes from integrating white schools. And so don't put the burden of proof on me. It is the white man himself who is guilty and whose guilt proves that the Negro and the white man can't live side by side. Now, if I'm wrong in saying they can't, just prove that I'm wrong by doing it. Or just show me one place where it's done. If it can't be done in New York City, it won't be done anywhere in this country.
Malcolm X became one of the best-known ministers in the Nation of Islam, but he was silenced for 90 days after the assassination of President Kennedy.
Malcolm, would I be correct in saying you're going to initiate a new movement in this country?
No, I don't think I'm equipped to initiate a new movement, but it's my intention to take the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and make them work on a broader level.
How long has this been building up, this decision to make the change?
Well, I have been able to see for some time that it's that I do run into obstacles in trying to help him within the movement. So I want to help him just that bad, just that much. So it's my intention to try and do it now in the only way that I know how. And I think I can do it better without the restrictions that I would run into by being a part of the Muslim movement in this country. That is, the Muslim movement as it now exists.
How severe were the restrictions these past 90 days?
Oh, during the past 90 days, they were most severe. I've been completely silent.
Not able to talk is a real affliction for you, is that right?
Not only have I not been able to speak as a Muslim, I haven't even been able to speak as a man.
Actually, going back to that incident, you have told me on other occasions that you didn't actually say you were glad the president was dead. What did you say, Malcolm?
No, my subject that day was God's judgment of white America. And I showed the different incidents that had been building up, step by step, the fulfillment of prophecy, and that all of these things that were taking place were the result of some seeds that were badly sown, or some bad seeds that were sown. And the death of the president I referred to as the result of other things, a combination of things. And surprisingly, this is what the whole country was saying, that it was a climate of hate. So chickens coming home to roost means the same thing.
And this is what you said, chickens were coming home to roost.
Yes.
But at no time did you say you were glad the president
No, I did say this, that it pleases me to see that the wisdom of the prophets, these ancient prophets, was so vast that they could foresee these things exactly as they were to come to pass thousands of years ago. This was part of my lecture that day, and they twisted it.
In April 1964, Malcolm made his first pilgrimage to Mecca.
Malcolm, on your trip abroad, you said you sensed a feeling of great brotherhood, and that conceivably you would be working toward integration in this country now. At least this is what you're reported to have said. Have you any comment on it?
I don't think that I ever mentioned anything about working toward integration. If I recall, I pointed out that while I was at Mecca making the pilgrimage, I spoke about the brotherhood that existed at all levels and among all people who were there on that Hajj, who had accepted the religion of Islam. I mean, perhaps it could drive some of the racism from this society as it has driven racism from the Muslim society.
You accept integration as a possible solution to the racial problem in this country?
No, people cloud the issue when they bring in the word integration. Integration can't even be defined. This is one of the reasons why it hasn't been realized.
When a letter was written back and it was published in the New York Times, I think Mr. Handler published it, a lot of people felt that he was becoming an integrationist, which was not true. He had gone to Mecca and he had merely written about what he saw, and people reported it as if he had gone there and planted these people there. So this was an observation on his part, and he was not in the least becoming an integrationist. His role was forever the fight for black freedom. He wanted to raise the level of the struggle from one of civil rights to one of human rights, and he felt that civil rights confined our struggle or our fight for freedom to the borders of the United States. And if we internationalized our struggle, if we got allies. And everyone realized the importance of getting allies. Even this country in the Revolutionary War, they sent people all over forming correspondence committee to explain their plight to the world and trying to get allies. And I think the French and the British and Spain joined this country in helping her win her independence. And just like they needed allies, you know, the black people needed allies, and I think this was one of the reasons for his trips.
Well, my purpose here is to remind the African heads of state that there are 22 million of us in America who are also of African descent, and to remind them also that we are the victims of America's colonialism or American imperialism, and that our problem is not an American problem, it's a human problem. It's not a Negro problem, it's a problem of humanity. It's not a problem of civil rights, but a problem of human rights.
And what do you hope for from this conference?
Well, we hope to bring pressure upon them, or rather we hope to impress upon them the importance of their bringing pressure and world opinion upon the United States to take some meaningful effort to solve our problem in America. We want them to help us get our problem before the United Nations and charge America with violating our human rights in the same way that South Africa is charged with violating the human rights of our people in that area.
And what sort of reaction have you been getting from the African leaders?
Well, I've gotten a good reaction, a very sympathetic reaction, and an understanding reaction. Many of them have been misinformed by the American government into thinking that black people in America don't identify with Africa, and therefore they've restrained themselves from voicing their interest in our problem. But I've impressed upon them that our problem is their problem, as well as their problems are our problems.
Through continuous struggle, Malcolm X attempted to unify the civil rights movement with black nationalism. He speaks to students in Selma, Alabama, a few weeks before his death.
And now, if the federal government does not find it within its power and ability to investigate a criminal organization such as the Klan, then you and I are within our rights to wire Secretary General Uthon of the United Nations and charge the federal government in this country behind Lyndon B. Johnson with being derelict in its duty to protect the human rights of 22 million black people in this country. And in their failure to protect our human rights, they are violating the United Nations Charter, and they are not qualified to continue to sit in that international body and talk about what human rights should be done in other countries on this earth. I have to say this, and I'll sit down. Back during slavery, when black people like me talked to the slaves, they didn't kill him. They'd send some old house Negro along behind him to undo what he said. You have to read the history of slavery to understand this. There were two kinds of Negroes. There was that old house Negro and the field Negro. And the house Negro always looked out for his master. When the field Negroes got too much out of line, he held them back in check. He put them back on the plantation. The house Negro could afford to do that because he lived better than the field Negro. He ate better, he dressed better, and he lived in a better house. He lived right up next to his master in the attic or the basement. He ate the same food his master ate and wore his same clothes. And he could talk just like his master. Good diction. And he loved his master more than his master loved himself. That's why he didn't want his master hurt. If the master got sick, he'd say, "What's the matter, boss? We sick?" He was as sick as the master. When the master's house caught a fire, he'd try and put the fire out. He didn't want his master's house burned. He never wanted his master's property threatened. And he was more defensive of it than the master was. That was the house Negro. But then you had some field Negroes who lived in huts, had nothing to lose. They wore the worst kind of clothes, they ate the worst food, and they caught hell. They felt the sting of the lash. They hated their master. Oh, yes, they did. If the master got sick, they prayed that the master died. If the master's house caught a fire, they prayed for a strong wind to come along. This was the difference between the two. And today you still have house Negroes and field Negroes. I'm a field Negro. If I can't live in the house as a human being, I'm praying for a wind to come along. If the master won't treat me right and he's sick, I'll tell the doctor to go in the other direction. But if all of us are going to live as human beings, as brothers, then I'm for a society of human beings that can practice brotherhood. So before I sit down, I want to thank you for listening to me. I hope I haven't put anybody on the spot. I'm not intending to try and stir you up and make you do something that you wouldn't have done anyway. I pray that God will bless you in everything that you do. I pray that you will grow intellectually so that you can understand the problems of the world and where you fit into in that world picture. And I pray that all the fear that has ever been in your heart will be taken out. And when you look at that man, if you know he's nothing but a coward, you won't fear him. If he wasn't a coward, he wouldn't gang up on you. He wouldn't need to sneak around here. This is how they function. They function in mobs. That's a coward. They put on a sheet so you won't know who they are. That's a coward. No. The time will come when that sheet will be ripped off. If the federal government doesn't take it off, we'll take it off.
Although some of us may have disagreed with Malcolm X, or we disagree with each other about him, let us going from us serve to bring us together.
We are at war. I don't think there's any other way to begin this or to say it. We are at war. We're in a physical war of attrition, which for some people it may appear that we are losing, but I measure it based upon how far I've moved away from being European. The slave's wisdom is in the master's head. When deeds speak, words are meaningless. If they come and get your men at night, they'll be back in the morning for your women. Proverbs are people's wisdom. But when you teach children in Proverbs, then you are cultivating their ability to think. We have to stop sometimes. Someone will say a proverb to us, and we have to stop and think about what it means. And then what it means in terms of the context of whatever they're talking to us in. Because Proverbs work your brain. Proverbs make you think. Imagine what we would have in our communities if every other sentence, every other discussion we had, we presented our children with a proverb relative to that. What kind of firepower we would have in the minds of our children. We wouldn't have a situation like we have now, where we've moved from miseducation, where they're given the wrong information, to diseducation, where they don't want to have to think because it's work. Proverbs shows you how intelligent you are. It gives you the wisdom of your ancestors. I wanted to go through a list of what it is to be a man, or what manhood is supposed to be about already. So for me, manhood involves at least 5 major components. You have educator, leader, provider, protector, and respecter of women. In our home, politics is simple. Politics don't have to be big. They should really be simple things. For Indiana, no Euros, no homos, no Negroes. Remember one word for me. It's a very important word in our house. John Henry Clark talked about how the Romans, when they wanted to conquer Kemet, they would greet each other today. Greetings, fellow Roman. Egypt must fall. Greetings, fellow Roman. Egypt must fall. And this was an affirmation they said to each other day in and day out until they did it. We must say something along those lines. How you say and what you say, that's up to you, but we need to incorporate that into our conversation. We say a BB Fahodie. Can you say that with me? A BB Fahodie. A BB Fahodie. That's tree for African liberation. A BB Fahodie. We say that when we greet each other in the morning. We say that when we walk out the door. We say that when we're going to bed. We say that whenever anyone sneezes. A BB Fahodie. A BB Fahodie. A BB Fahodie. A BB Fahodie.
Okay. Back at it again. So I wanted you to hear from both Dr. Betty Shabazz and Al-Hajj Shabazz, but Wally, affectionately known to the world as Minister Malcolm X. I wanted you to hear their words. A lot of misconceptions and deliberate misdirection has been placed surrounding their lives, their legacy, their family, their words, their ideologies, their goals, their aims, their objectives. A lot of subversive activity surrounding the assassinations. Both of them were assassinated. So forever staining in the mind, in the heart, to destroy their greatest weapon. To destroy their greatest weapon. And their greatest weapon was their love for one another. And as a reciprocal factor of their love for one another, Dr. Betty Shabazz and Brother Malcolm X, peace and blessings be upon them both, was their love for our people. So their love for one another transcended and as a result of their love for one another, their love for our people, the service and the work, the life and dedication of their union, of them coming together. Dr. Betty Shabazz, as I stated, the family that helped to raise her and rear her, taught her about self-reliance, taught her about self-respect and dignity and pride associated with Black life, with Black womanhood, with Black familyhood, but did not teach her about racism. Malcolm taught her about racism. Taught her about the enemies and their plots and their plans, internal and external. Yet she said that when she met him, she was working as a nurse. And some of the nurses there were either in the Nation of Islam as members or attending the temple. And as she said, she didn't have any interest in joining the Nation of Islam. She was a Methodist. She was good. She was fine with that. And she said the sisters at the hospital that she worked at were raving about this young, fiery minister, Minister Malcolm X, Temple Number 7 in Harlem. You got to go see this brother. He's fiery, he's intelligent, and all of the sisters love him and they want him. This is what she said. And she said that they tricked her into going to a meeting. And she said she went in there to hear Malcolm speak. And she said that she was captivated. She admitted she was captivated. She said that she saw this man who was fearless. She said she saw a man that was fearless and that was bold and was prepared to go against the world on the surface. But she said in the deeper recesses of her examination, she saw a man that was broken. And she thought that she could help him. She saw this man that was broken, and she thought that she could be of help. So despite all of the people around Malcolm at the time, the infatuation, the adoration, there was a space of enmity and jealousy, and there was a space of vulnerability that he was open to and susceptible to, that Dr. Betty Shabazz recognized in him from the first time meeting him. And she sought to be of help to him in this regard. Malcolm was focused on the mission at hand. He didn't have time for anything or anyone. So indiscriminate to the infatuation and adoration, he did not allow any of those things to deter him from his mission. Now, meeting Dr. Betty Shabazz, it was for the first time in his life that he's seen this light in this Black woman, and he married her. He married her. He built a life with her, and he was devoted to her. And from that love that they had for one another, he taught her and prepared her for his departure. He told her of all of the people who would come, why they would come, how they would come, all of those things after his assassination. And she took heed to those warnings and prepared herself for a battle that would ensue directly and indirectly for the next 32 years after Malcolm's departure, February 21st, 1965. The organizations continued. Muslim Mosque Incorporated, an organization for African American unity. And despite the best efforts and attempts of this government at the city level, at the county level, at the state level, and at the federal level, they were unsuccessful in their attempts to interrupt and destroy Malcolm's legacy. So I'm having some technical difficulties here, so bear with me for a moment as I work them out. And I'll be back to finish this up in a few minutes.
In 86, the devil raised the bar, but I'm a hurdler. And I'm the good thief. I sneak in your toxic house, the burglar. The musical Merkaba came to set free the Lucifer worshippers. Like James Bond 007, the soul of an old legend. Negative energy murderer. Good or evil, angel or demon interpreter. Kings with frankincense and myrrh. And perfumes anoint me soon as my birth occur. Like Ben-Hur, I'm indigenous to Gilgamesh. With brilliantness became the builders of the pyramids. Now we lost in American North wilderness. I became the force, a poor man's ventriloquist. On the island far away from home like Gilligan. Took us from our villages till we find our way back through resilience and our diligence. Through rags and wave caps, black fists look militant. And college remembrance, while living ignorance. Striving kids with innocence, dreams fly limitless. Straight towards the nebula, with cannon or the terror. Black boy's face, we all in this together. I chase demons in my cape, my sword and my scepter. His brother Glow the Great, the lord of this era. Royal priesthood, gold plates and treasures. Anubis, my eye, wear your heart against the feather. Carted Satan out your soul, lifting him out, he's on a stretcher. With my divine helicopter, with shocking propellers, outlines made of copper. The fortune teller, my dragon glows green like matcha. New York regalia, like Robin Walker is the prophet Walter. From the days of Iron Sheik versus Sergeant Slaughter, blue around my garment borders. Fringes, execute vengeance. Mathematics, Qurans and Taurus. Rock the head of Horus, rocks in the watch is gorgeous. Behind my will, it fell into the wheel, metamorphing. Start spinning clockwise and counterclockwise. On the outside, my car became a flying saucer, straight to the orbit. Use my mind, lose my mind, I will use my mind.
Yo, masquerade killer. Michael hijacked the sun, matinee thriller. Zombie apocalypse, a center for disease. Says my tracks are way iller. Ice adrenochrome cubes keep they cabernet chiller. And thought they don't want you to think. Knowledge is power. Shock the flowers, make my aura look pink. To know the ledge, godly hour, push your thoughts to the brink. You can't even close your eyes, become a corpse if you blink. Where the oracles sink. I was born in the Sphinx. Copper DNA necklace with historical links. Hiding poison in the food, in the water you drink. Cause they raised done and they just biding their time. Throw food, the lost tube coming down on my mind. Stab you with a light ray cause you was dying to shine. Then I disappeared like a truth post in your IG. Holy Spirit dripping like a ghost in your IV. Can't deport them all, we was already here. So get in tune with the voices in the water right here. You don't see the embryo in the form of your ear. Invisible man, I made myself awfully clear. Royal priesthood, astrologers is Lord of the Spheres. Throwing platinum plates, you thought the flying saucers appeared. Yeah, they scared to wear their own face in the street. Deep elixirs, beast addicted to the taste of the sheep. On Harry Potter's wheel, the God knew arrange my physique. Kai, Elohim, hemoglobin, the Arabian chic. 7 circles like the planets in the days of the week. Supreme math, solar facts in the language I speak. You brainwashed if you watching the news. Never make the wrong step when the laws in my shoes. The dream weaver make it seem there's no option to choose. Corona dope fiends, they be trying to nod. They in line to get shot, that's a fireman squad. Pharmaceuticals, shoot to kill line with the gods. I cried for the angel babies that have died in the fog. Caught up in the crossfire, like a panther in a Klan rally. Zodiac, they need these answers in my hands badly. Like palm readers, break dancers in the sand valley. I moonwalked on chemtrails in the sky. On the path to ancient Kemet, where the scales in my eyes. The sun and moon temple sitting on the side of my head. A million years I still remember every line that I said. Hermes Trismegistus, serve me the statistics. 99 attributes of Allah, 99% survival rate. Imagine the odds when you're the Neo, you're the one that made the patterns evolve. Another chapter to solve, why the Saturn revolve. Spinal column, I am Amen, climb the ladder to Oz. On a rocket to Nebula, the planet of the gods. Use my mind, lose my mind, I will. Use my mind, I won't lose my mind. Use my musical math, get used to the craft. Use my mind, turn the mic to a producer your staff. Trying to fit these odd shapes in the box. Tetragrammaton, Tetris, see my face in the watch. Circle of life displayed in an arrangement of clocks. You can't be so diplomatic when you're breaking the locks. God Zodiac, Killer Priest, Wrong Priest.
No, we didn't check then. Swear to God, we finna get all this money. Watch what I tell you.
Touch my eleke. You may think they pretty, but to me it's not for play. Power in my jewelry, clear the scene like an AK. Full body protection, looking clean every day they so. Hey, don't touch my eleke. You may think they pretty, but to me it's not for play. Power in my jewelry, clear the scene like an AK. Full body protection, looking clean. And I say I shit. I gotta say I shit. I shit. And I say I shit. Elegba, Oshun, and Obatala. And I say I shit. Mokio, I shit, and I say I shit, and Oya, and Shango, and Yemoja. I got it, currency in my pocket, nature around my neck, front and center I rock it. Never tuck them, so folk wanna touch them, they need to stop it. Trying to find them on lines like mine, you never cop it. My eleke is living, reason why I be winning. Jealous of my position, but I'm just at the beginning. Demonizing the forces, no intercourses I'm giving. Christians feel like I'm sinning the way the heavens be bending for me. I'm in the flow, I get the dough, I'm giving more, it's reciprocal. Every dose could be poison or be medicinal. Truth is blatant to those who know what to listen for. Yep, a treasure chest in every mic check. Steady in the altitude and we ain't on the flight jet. Calling me the champ popping, I ain't even want to fight yet. Moochers sticking to us for that juju that they might get. Hey, don't touch my eleke. You may think they pretty, but to me it's not for play. Power in my jewelry, glitter scene like an AK. Full body protection, looking clean every day they so. Hey, don't touch my eleke. You may think they pretty, but to me it's not for play. Power in my jewelry, glitter scene like an AK. Full body protection, looking clean. And I say I share. Somebody say I share. I share. And I say I share. Egongo, Babaluaye, and Ita. And I say I share. Mokio. I share. And I say I share. Ochosi, Ogun, and Orumila.
Got them holy beads around my neck. Them sacred guides on deck. Yep, it gets protection all around. Kosi Wahala, big blessings abound. I'm open to receive all the things this universe is laid at my feet, and I'm walking yellow brick road and laid with gold. Oh yeah, I get it from my mama, she reigning on her throne. La de Koju, Oriye Oshun, Hell's sweet water goddess, keep that blade and some honey. Lord, she just keep going, hold the stop when she gets started. A river flowing, anointed from head to toe, baptized, got Orisha by my side, then my eagle all around, ain't nothing stopping me now. Full force on them, full glow on them. Spirit realm said go, so I move for them. A walking altar.
And I say I share. 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 Hey, don't touch my eleke. You may think they pretty, but to me it's not for play. Power in my jewelry, glitter scene like an AK. Full body protection, looking clean every day they so. Hey, don't touch my eleke. You may think they pretty, but to me it's not for play. Power in my jewelry, glitter scene like an AK. Full body protection, looking clean.
Yeah, see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Woo! We done hit him, Baba. 10, 2, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. God. 20. Good day. Who this messing my count up? Alafia, bruh. I told you we was gonna hit. Yeah. Shoot, I'm counting me and Baba out right now. I'm waiting on Sunday to come out, hit her. We good. She finding out right now. We checking in. Hold on. Good. About to hit him again.
Right. Thank y'all for bearing with me through these technical difficulties. Back. And despite the challenges, despite the best efforts, a cycle of our enemy's best efforts to make a cycle perpetual. And what I mean by that is what Dr. Betty Shabazz and what Malcolm's like in childhood, the cycles that they were met with, they did not allow those cycles to continue. Those cycles that were perpetuated. The interruption that was there was not allowed to continue. Even with Malcolm's assassination and his departure, Dr. Betty Shabazz continued on the work and increased the work for the next 32 years. She got a doctorate. She taught at Medgar Evers College. She worked with young Black women, young mothers, with Black people as a whole, and did not shy away from being vocal and intentional in bringing that fire that she said that Malcolm had brought into her heart, into her life, and him exuding that love that she loved on him so. From the departure of his mother to his half-sister, Ella, to Dr. Betty Shabazz. That mothering figure, that continuous space of Black Mother God, that Black Mother God energy that was there, that was ever present in his life. This is why he fought so feverishly for our people as a whole, and for Black women in particular. An honorable man, honorable husband, honorable father to this dynamic woman who was there as a service to our people. So we want to honor their commitment and double down on our commitment to the eradication to the things that ail us and that separate us from one another as Black people, as African peoples. To arduously continue on the task of Black family redemption. So, to the Black family, to Black mother, Black father, and Black child, we love you, we honor you. Despite the challenges and the hell and your exploitation by the world at large, we honor you and we uplift you. So honors to Dr. Betty Shabazz, honors to Alhaji Malik El Shabazz, Brother Omar Wali, may Allah be pleased with you both, and peace and blessings on your family.
How dare you put yourself in that position as a moral judge? I think you should keep quiet, because with that much blood on America's hands, you have no right to speak.
It's time for war. Give me redemption. It's time for war. Give me redemption.
For the poor, righteous teachers with pharaoh features. Like one of the kings from Egypt, the plan is to lock us, stripping our freedom. Mass incarceration, jails is crowded all across the nation. With Black faces with 25 for crack cases. These new modern laws attract racists. Hands high, still a cop shooters, claiming we rock movers. Block looters, the reason they put the Glocks to us. They fed us pork and false knowledge. I talk dollars, cause in this land of America, you hear the poor holler. A known scholar, do the math. What they teaching in class is transparent. I can see through the glass. It's on us to educate the babies, the black poets and athletes, before they end up dead on a back street. We ain't running no more, kid, it's time for war. Impeach the POTUS, his mind is apocalyptic. First they gave us dope, now it's pills, that's not prescriptive. Modern day genocide, they see us in a ride, costing $100 grand, shoot us just like the son of Sam.
Traveling by ship to Hispaniola, better known as Haiti, warriors of Judah. What does it mean when I say just a leave? Late night, the drums will scream. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I can see the ships retreat. I can see the ships retreat. I can see. Coupe Tedley. Off with them hands. Off with them hands. It's time for war. Get redemption. It's time for war. Get redemption.
So what you know about them Zulus or the Asante? Salute to OC22 or Haiti in the swamps or where them alligators knew you. French threaded the locks who fear them not because of voodoo. Nazinga would have strangled you, moving like you need a piece of Amazons to murder you. No mercy, ask the Portuguese. Been the war, biggest one inside of you. Man the beast, death or victory. No surrender, we do not retreat. Word to Sonny Ali, the great Haile Selassie. Respect Muhammad Ahmed, that's who we call the Mahdi. If Turner caught you slipping, his machete will be dripping with the blood of opposition. He ain't spared children and women. Resistance is the mission, we pursuing with persistence. A coward gets beheaded on sight for lack of vision. This that men elect the second. Ketchwayo, Bembada, that Harriet escape flow, that Nelson, that Shaka.
It's time for war. Get redemption. It's time for war. Choose one.
Choose one.
Union Fed La Four.
Union Fed La Four.
Union Fed La Four.
Union Fed La Four.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Now we gonna tell them. That in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? No more. This man's mind is open. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a African. I'm a. Let's get
And
back
that
to
motive
the
is best developed by recognizing the common enemy.